guys, Ryan here. I hope you guys can hear me. I am live at 2 o'clock, and we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. I'm just making sure that my mic is working. Um, for you guys that are new, you can text you can text me at the number below in on the screen here, 619-304-5155, or you can go to the school community, skool.com/local lead labs. And I'm going to answer any questions about AI and any questions that you might have about how to set up a conversational AI agent for your business. Um, yeah, if you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link there so that you guys can join if you'd like. If you see that link, that link, that StreamYard link is the link to join here if you have any questions, or you can comment um, any question that you would like, and I'll answer it live on the call. I'm here to talk about, again, how artificial intelligence. So I developed over the past 18 months a conversational AI agent, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars developing it, and working on it. We've deployed the conversational AI agent um, across about 20 to 20, I'd say 25 businesses so far, and it's working great. We have iterated our onboarding process for the people that we're bringing on board, and now what we're doing is we're refining the AI agent so that it works really well for certain verticals, and just really focusing on making it work very well after the AI agent has the conversation with somebody. So in other words, the AI agent, and by the way, so just for you guys that don't know me, my name is Ryan Steinelson. I'll just back up a little bit. I'm the owner of Accelerate Marketing, a digital marketing agency that's been around for over 16 years, and we help businesses generate leads for their business that are pre-qualified and pre-sold, because they're they're on the Google platform. Basically, not just because they're on the Google platform, but because the specific campaign types that we optimize for our clients feature things like reviews, a picture of the business owner. It's got all the psychological triggers that you would need. The challenge that we face is just getting the business owners to answer the phone. So that's what we're working on now. That's why I set out with a problem that I wanted to solve 18 months ago, and we've effectively done it. So I'm really excited that we've succeeded in setting up a our AI agents for business owners. I'll show you an example. So there was just a friend of mine that and you can go, anybody can go to um, this here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to log out here. Let me just sign out. So anybody can go to app.diyai.ai. So this is it's a little bit confusing because it's diyai.ai/login. So it's app, you can see the URL there. And then you can go to get started, and then you can set up a free plan. Put in your name, your company name, your phone number, email, password. But what we do and just so that you guys know, um, at Accelerate Marketing is we set up business owners with a done for you platform. The 25 businesses that I referred to that we set up, it's more of a white glove type um, service where we set up our clients from the beginning with an onboarding process, and we go through that onboarding process to help them educate and train their AI agent so that it knows and understands about their business, and understands what to say when certain things happen, etc. So this is where we're at right now. Is we've deployed probably 25 different agents, and they're answering calls, they're responding to text messages, they're responding to um, chats that are on the website. They're responding to leads from local service ads. They're responding to, all different types of leads that would come in for a business owner. And today, if you don't respond instantly, then these different platforms that actually sell leads to you will stop sending leads to you. So you basically lose the opportunity to get the leads that these various businesses offer, like Google or Yelp or Yacht or any of the platforms, the Angie's List. And it's a lot of these platforms. The only way that you can here, I'll add Brian to the stage. Hey Brian. Hey Brian, you there?
How you doing?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Doing well.
Awesome. Yeah, I just, we just got started here. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to see, and so Brian's one of our clients. He's an attorney, and you've been testing out your AI agent, right? Like texting it, calling it,
Uh,
etc.
Calling, texting it. Yep.
Okay, how's that going? That's probably the most important thing initially is just identifying those edge cases. Have you found that you've edited you found that you've had to edit the prompt a few times, and have you uploaded some of your conversations yet to the knowledge base?
No, actually, we haven't. I haven't done that with Alex. So my
Okay.
conversations are sort of free form, so I'm not sure how helpful that will be.
Oh, your conversations are free. What do you mean? The conversations that people have with your AI agent?
No, so you want me to upload the conversations with my AI agent or with an
Oh,
actual rep?
yeah. Well, either. I mean, so any conversations that the agent could learn from, so
I
that in other words, any conversations that the agent could actually benefit from hearing, then it
Okay.
will, yeah, it'll take that information, it'll take the conversation, and you can say, hey, I want you to communicate in this way. Use these three different examples when you communicate
Understood.
with people. Yeah.
Understood.
Um, yep. So yeah, so you've been. I was talking about local service ads. Um, have you gotten? Did you close that other deal? You said you got one already, but there was another one before you even turned the ads on. You said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I got one or two calls yesterday also, even before the ads are running. But
Wow. I mean,
yes. So what I
yeah.
was showing you was before you got on this call, it seems
Mhm.
like on the map pack,
Yeah.
the LSA ads are moving to the side, the local ads, the local search
Okay.
ads, because before Google through your AdWords, your PPC, your pay-per-click account
Yeah.
was populating the local search ad if you had your local extensions enabled and you did everything you were supposed to do. But
Right.
today, when I was pulling up, you know, search terms, not only was it showing the LSAs at top, but the last four searches I did pulled up a Google screened LSA inside the map pack at the top.
Yeah. Wasn't it? What was the search that you were doing?
Uh, well, I mean, you could put in divorce lawyer Brooklyn, you could put in divorce lawyer Manhattan.
Okay. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is interesting. So this is what you were talking about is that you've got two guys here. Well, there's three, I guess, for divorce lawyer Brooklyn. Did I just miss an L there? Yeah, no, it's okay. Cheap divorce lawyer Brooklyn.
No, that's the cheap part.
It's just popular. So it's like delayed my thing. Okay, so you can see that you've got the Albert law firm here, Sigler. Do you know these guys? Levy.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So these are all Google screened attorneys, and this guy serves New York, and I'd like it, you don't have your ads turned on yet. but you're
Yep.
getting leads, which is great. So I'm trying to find you. Unfortunately,
Yeah, no,
we're having to go.
it would be in the more businesses. It's the one with
Yep,
octopuses.
there we go. Gordon Law. Okay, and so what were you? This is contested divorce. So, um, what were you trying to show?
Oh, so you got to go back to the search.
Okay, let me go back. It's not letting me go back. It's like really.
So just run your
Hold on,
search
hold on, hold on.
again.
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna Okay, hold on one second. Let me just turn off my phone. It's for whatever reason it's okay. There we go. Okay. Um, Hold on one second. Okay, run it again. Hold on. Where? What are we gonna do?
Just click search as if you're searching it on Google right now.
Divorce lawyer Brooklyn again?
Yep.
We just did that one.
All right. So look, you serve up the LSA, you get 3 listings on your mobile, right?
Hmm.
Scroll down,
Hmm. Hmm.
scroll down. Now the
Oh
map
yeah, yeah.
pack, they're putting the Google screen in there,
Yep.
another LSA listing instead of the local search ads.
Yes.
So
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this
so
this is
I ran 4 different searches, and now the local search ad is bouncing off the local ads. You understand?
wow.
Most
Yeah.
people
This
don't
is
know
this
the
is this.
difference. I
Yeah. No.
know.
Yeah. This is amazing. Okay. Wait. So what Brian's saying is that before, when you clicked more businesses, you would show Google Screen, but now, before you even click more businesses, you're actually seeing a Google screened listing, which before used to be what we were talking about on Friday this past week, where you were telling me there was somebody that that could has solved the puzzle of how to get regular Google ads to show
Right.
a business
In the
in the
map.
Maps pack, and but now you could do the same thing with Google Screen potentially.
Right. So now if you search like divorce lawyer Manhattan, you'll probably see exactly the same thing. All of a sudden today it started
Wow.
populating.
So this is what I okay. This is Google. The one step at a time, very slowly, so that eventually, when you get to the end, you're like, holy crap, how do we get here? They're not gonna make a change overnight. They're very smart. What they do is they make a change very slowly, so you don't even, it's like the python that's trying to devour the mouse. It's like it's just one, before you know it, you're it's crazy. So this is what they
Yeah,
do.
I was going to use an analogy, but I think it's people who are affiliated with PETA would probably be upset at us. But for
Uh-huh.
example, there was a study, I think, and I don't remember if the study was where if you drop, let's say, a mouse into boiling water, it will
Hmm.
jump out. If
Yes.
you increase the
Or crab.
temperature slowly, it
Yeah.
will just boil. It will never escape.
Yes.
Something along those lines. I forgot the
It's a
study, but
good.
that's
It's
the
it's a
same
lot.
analogy.
Yeah.
When you do the
Frogs or
changes
lobsters.
slowly,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like if you want to talk about as Americans when they start infringing on our rights, slowly, slowly take away stuff until
Yeah.
you're controlled.
Yes.
So that's what they do.
Exactly. And this is exactly where it's because we saw, okay, first they launched Google Screen. Everybody's like, wow, this is a new platform. You can show the picture, you can do the social proof, and then and it's right at the top, and you only pay for calls or messages. And I mean, look, I love the platform. Don't get me wrong, because here you gotta understand, at least be aware of what's happening. I mean, that's all I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to create awareness,
Yep.
because if you're aware, then you can play the game, and you can do things like turn on your message leads and respond to message leads and your calls instantly by using artificial intelligence, and beat out Barrows and Sigler and Albert, because I'll bet you that they're not using AI. I bet you at least one or two of these guys are not using artificial intelligence. And because these leads are sold to multiple businesses, the one that gets there first is the one that's going to win. And so you're just seeing the next iteration of the slow and eventual takeover of the Google business pack, in my opinion, by the paid or Google screened. I mean, it started with just, Google screen. Okay, we're just going to do it for a few verticals. And then it gets, it's being expanded, which is great. And people loved it because they could pay to play. If they couldn't rank on the maps, then they could pay to be at the top. And initially the leads were super cheap. I mean, and they still are, honestly. They're the best leads that you can possibly get because very smartly Google they fixed a few things that they didn't have in the beginning. Number one is Google didn't have an understanding of who was really, or what businesses were really creating a great experience, because
Right.
they didn't record the calls. And so in this instance of basically they just recreated the Google Business Profile platform in a better way. And they said, we're going to make it better. We're going to verify the businesses because we got a lot of fake businesses down here that are breaking the rules. And not only that, but what we're going to do is we're going to not, once they're verified, we're also going to make it so that they can there's going to be other things that are going to be fixed. Number one is we're going to listen to the calls, so we're going to know who actually creates a great experience and who doesn't, and so that we can actually, better out the ones that actually can't create a good experience and the ones that can. And that is going to make our platform that much more desirable in the long term, which is exactly what Google wants, obviously, and what everybody wants. Google wants a platform that they can rely on to give them a good result every time in terms of a business that actually answer the phone quickly. And that's, again, we come back to the artificial intelligence, because, and this is the reason why Google is listening to the phone calls here. They record them and they listen to them with their own AI, versus down here they don't have that. They have it up here because they want to know what's going on these calls and exactly what kind of experience the business is delivering, so that they can feel confident when somebody finds a business at the top here, like Barrows and soon to be
Right.
Gordon, that when they call, they know because they've heard or listened to 100 or 200 or 300 of Barrows calls, and they've seen the feedback. And this is why it's the 3 R's. It's the reviews, the radius, and the response rate. And it really is the response rate and the reviews that are the most important. And the radius is one that you just have to know how to optimize, which you and I have been talking about, really in depth and in detail
Absolutely.
recently, which is really good. And I that's why I really like people getting on these calls, because it gives me the opportunity to really help people create awareness, or business owners create awareness around what is actually happening in the top section of Google, which is now owned by Google Screened, or otherwise known as Google Local Service Ads. And it's so funny because it's really supplanted this Google Maps. It's really, like devouring it. In a matter of, I'd say, well, it hasn't been that fast, because Google Local Service Ads came on the market about 7-8 years ago. And so now we've got the opportunity to actually, like, see, we can see what's happening here. It's funny that I think you're seeing, it's interesting talking to you, because you've got such an experience, or so much experience, using the Google Business Profile platform. And now that you're seeing the beginning stages of what's possible with Google Local Service Ads, what do you think? I'm kind of curious.
So yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just checking something. I decided to swap out and just say like Plumber Brooklyn, or like a service, and it's doing exactly the same thing. Literally, if you put in probably Plumber Tampa or something
Yeah.
or whatever, I'm seeing 4 ads being shown, 3 up
Wow.
top and 1 in the pack.
Wow. Okay. So I've got Google Guaranteed. Obviously, this is Google Guaranteed because it's a
Right.
service-based business and not, thanks, man. And then, yeah,
There you go.
there you go. Wow.
So
And
now
I'm glad.
they
Yeah.
decided to how can we make more money, and we're taking
Yep.
over the first space of the map pack, which used to be free, if you're
Yep.
ranking, and now they're serving up 4 businesses on the first page.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you add these up here, it's 7. I mean, you've got the 3 at the top, and then you've got the 4 down in the maps.
Right.
Because
Well,
I
I'm
know
talking about 4 LSAs.
yeah, or you mean 4, yeah, 4 LSAs or 4, in this, yeah,
Yeah,
4
Google
LSAs
Stream
or
or pay for
yeah,
play. Now they've moved for pay for play there. So I'm wondering if this, and if they're trying to, because you see, you're not serving up a result for a AdWords, a traditional text ad. So I'm
yeah.
wondering if they're trying to move away from that.
I think they are. Well, here, I mean, this is on my phone as well. I mean, so Google Guaranteed, or otherwise known as Google Local Service Ads, as I've said, is they've said from the beginning it favors businesses that are, or it favors the mobile experience. I mean, so um, I'm not surprised. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not surprised that there's not any regular Google ads or get what we call PPC, pay per click ads. Although this
Right.
one's not. Nope. Yeah. So what's interesting though is that you'll notice that this actually said it's got the booking feature. We talked about this on our call on Monday about the fact that you got to get that call. I thought I heard a call.
No. Mhm.
Okay.
That's okay.
So yeah, we said that the booking feature is a ranking factor, and sure enough, here's the guy that's showing up. I don't think it's a coincidence that the guy that's showing up in the maps for the Google Guaranteed section actually is using the booking feature. You know, this
Yeah.
is something that if you're a service based business, like I said on Monday, and I'm glad that I'm creating some content before I go out of town next week. I'm flying to Ecuador for a little vacation
Nice.
with Tatiana, who's here. Say hi, Tot. Brian's on the phone, so Brian says hi. I'm sure.
Hey, Tatiana,
um,
how are you?
yeah, she brought me some tea, my afternoon tea.
I saw
So
last
yeah,
time she gave you your superfood, your green powder, whatever you were taking, your AG1 or Green Vibrance or whatever, your
yeah,
super green.
no, oh man, yeah, that's my green juice that she makes every morning. About
Oh,
anywhere,
okay.
yeah, it's made
Perfect.
with sprouts and pea and sunflower sprouts, celery and cucumber. But I digress. Anyway,
All right,
so
let's
let's
get
get
back.
back. Let's get back. But anyway, so I wanted there reviews, radius, response rate. This is and again, I mean, this is not really supposed to be a call for the LSA or local service ads or Google Business Profile, but they're they're really it's impossible to not talk about. And this is why I am optimizing with AI for phone answering, because it's almost impossible to talk about getting the results that you want to on these platforms without solving for the response rate or response time for message leads. And that's why I'm so glad that you came on board with us, Brian, as a client, because most other LSA companies, and I know this because I'm not saying, like, I know this because I talk to a lot of them. A lot of them show up on in my school community, and some of them, and they're great. But they look, you know a lot of times, and this is why I hire attorneys that have years of experience, because they just have more reps, and the more reps that you have at looking in our business, it's looking at different accounts and dealing with the situations that come along with those accounts over and over and over again, and seeing all the different angles that AI now can identify very quickly, which is going to be, and that's why eventually, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next, 2 to 3 years, because AI is really good at spotting these uh these edge cases, these scenarios that are unique to different businesses. And if we just plug in those variabilities into our AI agents, then we train it once and we don't have to train it again. you know, which is one of the beauties of, and I got Eric and
Day is going great so
Eric, you
far.
there?
Yeah,
Hey, how's it going?
good.
Awesome. Okay. You're on with Brian and myself. I just anybody that comes into the onto the call here, I just try to jump them in really quick to see if they got
Sure.
any questions. What questions do you have?
No, I'm just learning more about what you're doing. I
Mm,
tried to catch the last one. I was late at it, so
awesome. So can you tell me a little about yourself? What you do?
I work with real estate agents and help them do their marketing, and I'm looking for resources so I can turn my realtors on to the best of the best.
Yeah. Awesome.
I've got a few of my clients they used to do Zillow, and I got them onto the Google local service ads, but it's getting a bit much to manage, and
Yeah.
more than I can do because I'm doing everything's SEO and coaching and marketing of listings and things like that. So I'm always looking for people that I can recommend people services for my clients. And I
Awesome.
help them
Well,
through the journey because I can't do everything.
you can't do it yourself.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, jumping in and and seeing what we're up to. You probably, I don't know if you, Brian, it's Eric, right? Is how you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
Eric, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
German spelling.
Unique spelling. Yeah. ERICH. So,
Yeah.
so Brian is one of my clients. He's an attorney. He's up in the New York area, and he's kind of a unique dude in that he's very and he's a unique business owner in that he actually, and a unique dude, in that he actually understands a lot about what you and I talk about in terms of
Mhm.
search engine optimization. And I like that actually. I mean, I don't know about you, but I really
No, I
like
like
having
the formal class. They appreciate what I know and what I can help with. Yeah.
yeah. And that's what Brian is. So he's constantly, he jumps on these calls a lot. He's pushing us and asks really good questions from an educated standpoint. And that's
Mhm.
what I like
I
because
like it, yeah.
it creates a lot better conversations, and it allows us to identify more opportunities for value. And hopefully you've been following our conversation. It's been very interesting. I mean, I don't know if you saw the changes that are happening in the Google local service ads section here. I'll show my screen. Did you see what we were just showing?
I've been trying to follow. I manage it for two or three of my clients. I manage it for them, but things
Okay.
are changing all the time. It's just, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in the school community. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So check this out. I mean, so I don't know if if you want to share like where one of your clients are at or whatever, but I
State
can do the
College.
same
I
thing.
got Susan Rupert State College, PA.
Okay,
Most are
State
near me,
College.
and they used to have a lot of competition in their little university town, but now she's one of the top ones and kind of sits up there.
And what's the name of the city again?
State College, PA.
Okay. All right.
That's her right there, Susan Rupert.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this is what's interesting. So let's see if this is going to happen for the. Oh, it's not for the realtors. It's interesting. So I don't know if you saw what we were just showing, but we were talking about, Brian and I were talking about how these different verticals.
Yeah.
When you go and you do a search for
They
in a
treat them
certain
differently. That's what I found out. They treat them differently. It's not the same across the board.
Yeah. And what we're seeing is like if you do like Plumber Tampa,
Mhm.
we're actually seeing a Google Guaranteed show up in the Maps pack. So it used to be like
Oh,
just people you'd see like pay per click.
yeah.
And this is what I was saying. By the way, in your vertical, and it's changing all the time in real estate, I don't know if they've offered the booking feature. This is one that is definitely, it turns out it's like a ranking factor. I think they just opened this up to service-based businesses. So we'd have to check for your, for
Yeah, no,
the,
I'll check today. That's something I try to stay on top of.
yeah. So this is definitely something that they said was a ranking factor. And this is why like I was telling Brian, I don't think it's any coincidence that this particular pro here, this
Mhm.
service business, as it has the booking feature turned
Yeah.
on, and they've got 6.5 thousand reviews. And I'll bet you if you called them right now, I bet you either a person would pick up or
Mhm.
an AI or an answering service would pick up within 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they
Almost
record
guaranteed.
everything. But do they like AI answering the phone? They really want a real person answering the
Yeah,
phone.
they're okay with it because, again, like I was saying on the call, Google just want to create a good experience for the
Yeah,
person that
right.
that
That's right.
calls.
That's the
And
that whatever Google wants a great experience. I always tell my clients that don't try to rethink them. Just they want what's best for them first, and then you second.
exactly. Well, I mean, they're running it as a business, and they want people that find a business here on their platform. They want them to be confident and know that, okay, I had a great experience by calling Susan.
Yep.
I clicked here or I sent a message. And by the way, if I send a message, this same lead, as you probably already know, goes to
50%
4 other
off,
businesses.
baby.
Yeah, yeah.
50% off.
Yep. And it goes to 4 other businesses. So if she doesn't respond quickly, and this is where I would recommend.
That's
So yeah,
new and that's different.
Yeah.
It used to be a dead end for their chance to make money. So they
they resell it. So they'll say, okay, what do you want? What's your message? What service do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give your contact information and then send? And let's see, are they making it optional or not? Yeah, let's see. Manage.
I'm looking at per thing right now.
I'm kind of curious if they're making it optional. I don't know. It might. I'm curious. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm going to Google those servers out right now.
Here, I'm going to see if it's me.
It changes so fast and they don't always tell you. And you got to kind of figure it out as you go along, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you do. Okay. This is interesting, Brian. They're making it required. You have to send an email and a phone number. Hold on. With the, yeah, I'm going to send this.
To submit
What?
it. It's a required field.
Yeah. This has not always been the case. So these are required. This is new. This is for me in this vertical, because this was not required as of about a month ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago. And this is a big deal because, look, this is why message leads are so valuable, because if Google's making it required that this information is sent to the business owner, and then you can call them back. It's smart that she's got the message leads turned on. I would doubt, and let's go and check. I'm gonna go check this really quick. I'm gonna go back. I'm not gonna charge her, because if I sent this, it would obviously charge her. But if I sent this, the next screen would say, do you want to send the same message to these 3 businesses? And you select the businesses that you want to send it to.
Yeah.
So not if she doesn't answer, even if no matter if she answers or not, it just says immediately, do you want to send this same message to these 3 businesses?
Oh, so you can shop 3 like you do for
exactly. So you can submit all of them at the same time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to show more, because this is the only way that you can actually see how quickly she's really responding. Okay, this is another new change. They're not listing here, at least right now. I'm going to try again. I don't know why it's interrupted. Hold on one second. So at least right now, they're not listing. They used to, or in some verticals they do. When you take message leads, it'll say typically replies in X amount of time, minutes or 15 minutes or whatever. And by the way, these are all realtors that are not paying for ads right now, but they're still being listed. And by the way, Brian's
green check mark. They're still there.
Yeah, Brian's gotten.
They have to have an account. What I confirmed with one of my clients, you have to have an account going. You haven't put a bid out.
Yeah, you have to have an account, which we set up for Brian. And he's gotten 12 leads over the past probably 2 weeks for free. And what's interesting is, like I was saying, this particular vertical, and I'll show you in other verticals where it's different.
It may not be the vertical, Ryan.
Yeah.
It may be that they haven't had any a high enough volume of message leads. because the
Yeah.
nature, it's a small town. So, Eric, has Susan been receiving message leads to the best of your knowledge?
Oh yeah, I watch them for her. I mean, I'm trying to come up with a way through Go High Level or whatever that I can actually feed this all the leads that come in here into a system so we can follow up, because she just talks to people and forgets who she talks to. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at her settings and her message leads and ask for preference. What do you prefer? Email or text message, which you can receive both. But then there's
Yeah.
a second thing that wasn't here before is not only the preference, which she has to check correctly, there's email. Text message. But receiving leads, we don't really want text message. But okay, they have direct business search and there's an opt-in. Let local service ads highlight your business and results. When someone searches for your brand or business directly, you will not be charged for leads from returning customers.
Yes.
You know about that?
That's another option. That's the branding, which I would turn on, because it puts your best foot forward, because it actually, especially if she's got a decent number of reviews,
Yeah.
it will show basically her listing just like this. So it'll show, the green Google checkbox.
Mhm.
It'll show the reviews. It'll show her headshot like we showed, over here. And by the way, you're right, Brian, because I just searched for a realtor in Miami, and sure enough, when I clicked on more businesses and more
Look at
businesses,
that. Wow.
it says typically replies in
Wow,
one
look at
day,
that.
typically replies in 15 minutes. So you're right. She just probably, and the other realtors just haven't gotten enough message leads, because you have to have, I think it's 3
Mhm.
in the past month over a
Mhm.
certain number of months in order for them to give this typically replies sentence.
Well,
here.
the other thing I saw in there too is I saw background. What was that background? The one guy had a background checked or background verified. I never seen that before. Maybe that was an option he chose like family owned or free consultation or woman owned business.
Yes, and that's another thing that I would do if I were you is
Background verified.
yes. Yeah, she's woman-owned business. Yeah, so I mean, you can select a certain number. I believe it's 5 or 6, and you've selected them. But some are a little bit, some might be more in alignment with what people are looking for. That would increase the likely. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
What Eric is referring to, he's saying on Jared, for example, it says background checked, but is that offering up as an option as your extension now?
Yeah, I think the reason why they're putting this here is because they didn't select the other options.
So it's a default. So
it's a default.
Yeah, so it's a default,
which is actually
because
a bad
nobody
thing.
knew enough to add the other stuff. So
yes,
yeah.
It's a default, because if you don't do the other, if you don't select the things that make your business unique, then they just go, okay, we checked their background.
Yeah. I understand.
But these are the details that, like, they're very important. Sometimes it's just Brian, I mean, it's just a 1 degree shift, or for you, it's just actually like setting up your LSA page. I mean, and then you just get free leads. It's like having another Google Business Profile page. And as we're seeing, it's actually better potentially than having a Google Business Profile page, because you're ranked. You could be ranked even higher than your GBP page.
But I think we have to back and say why and how you can rank higher to get back to the AI, because today is AI day.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Thank you.
Not LSA.
Awesome.
And the way to make sure that you're capitalizing on this, I know, Eric, you brought up, is the fact that who prefers personal experiences, but at a minimum, to maximize your ranking in the LSAs, you should have an AI voice and message agent to instantaneously respond to all messages that come in, not to go hunting and looking for it, and to have somebody, if for some reason the calls get busy and you go beyond 20 seconds, automatically your AI agent will pick up, and will immediately start answering those calls to make sure you have your absolute top impressions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Brian. I mean, really, I mean, I've said it so many times, because look, I created the AI agent, like I started creating it 18 months ago when I saw when I knew the problem that I had was getting my businesses to answer the phone. We previously, because we've been managing LSA or Google Local Service ads since it came on the market, since it became a thing 9 years ago. And we were managing Google Business Profile, another 7 years before that. But the bottom line is that along that entire time period for the last 16 years that I've had my agency, the number one problem, and I'm sure you probably see this as well, Eric, is just getting the business owners to actually answer the phone, to respond to message leads quickly, and to have it not be you. I mean, look, if you can train an agent, and I can show, we've got a DIY platform, and we've also got a done for you. But for you, because you're an agency owner, if you want to resell it, I mean, we do have a reseller opportunity with our DIY platform. But basically, yeah, white label. And but what you can do is you can very easily train the agent with a prompt on your client, and you could say, okay, I want to build this. And this can be, we can create an agent for you in like literally less than 5 minutes. What we would do is we would go to her website. We would scrape her website. So we would post to the agent the website URL of the homepage, and it would scrape all the sub pages for her phone number, her business hours, all the things that are on the website, what makes her unique, her about page, etc. And that would give it a basic understanding of her business. And so I don't know, I mean, how familiar are you with AI agents and how they're created? Eric, you there? Uh-oh, Eric's muted. So anyway, yeah, Eric, if you want to jump in. So basically, for anybody that's watching, the way to create an AI agent is, and thank you, Brian, for the, for your, insight there on, on the AI agents and how they work. Bottom line is that, AI agents are a buzzword right now.
Mhm.
But what, you back with us, Eric?
Yeah. Sorry, I hit the mute accidentally.
Oh, okay. So how familiar are you with AI agents?
Oh yeah, I've been following what Go High Level is doing and what other agents are doing with what they're doing with the AI agents. I'm a little hesitant for real estate because, well, you can't do outbound, but this is all inbound, so it's really not that
Mhm.
big of a deal. She was going to hire a answering service, but minimum it's $100 a month.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, at minimum, yeah. And here's the thing. We used to this is the reason why I started down this path 18 months ago, months ago, is because we used to, our only choice was to actually refer out call services, or
Right.
like,
Yeah.
service businesses.
Minimum $100 a month. But
Yeah.
oh, by the way, I did also learn that that Google likes, if you say I'm open 9 to 5 or whatever, I'm open to close at 9. It's actually I found out that you'll rank better if you're available all the time. Because believe it or not, real estate, some people don't start thinking about this stuff till they're home from work and the kids are in bed.
Yes. And for your friend here and your client, yeah, she closes at 9. So just by having an AI agent or a call service, but we can talk about why an AI agent is probably better. And Brian can even talk about this as well now, because Brian's got some really good experience with call services, and I do as well, because I referred probably 5 to 6 different call services until I realized that none of them really did an adequate job, because 9 out of 10 of them will answer the calls within 30 seconds.
Mhm.
But what they don't tell you is that about 30% of the time those calls go to a music hold. And when that happens, Google counts that as a missed call.
Uh-huh.
And so this is the reason why
You're not
these
being
are little,
responsive. Yep.
yeah. So Google counts those as missed calls. So when you actually go into your settings
Mhm.
in your back office for your local service ads account, and you see what's going on there, you'll see a lot of missed calls, and you'll be like, why are these calls being counted as missed?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you'll say,
Wait for someone to pick up.
yeah, well, the business owner will say, man, you know, I've got a call service. Every call gets answered, you know. So what, like, why do I even need this service, you know? And
Yeah.
but when you actually look at what Google is counting as being answered, it's
Mhm.
far less. Like the average, I
Mhm.
would say and I've been doing this for a while, and
Yeah.
I have about an average of 2 calls, 3 calls a day with business owners that call in inbound because of my, you know, content that's out there.
Mhm.
And I literally, like, I would say it's 60 to 70% of calls are being answered. 30 to 40% on average are being answered after 30 seconds.
Wow.
That's the average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So,
good.
and so it's, well, I mean, so this is where if you just insert an AI agent
Mhm.
in there for either voice and or messaging and
Mhm.
or embedding the AI agent on the website,
Mhm.
then what you're doing is you're giving people answers to questions
Yeah.
that they appreciate it. They're able to get
Mhm.
the answers to the questions that they have.
Yeah,
They can
I'm hearing that in the last really 30 days, you know, just following people that have been successful with the agents, and people are like,
Mhm,
oh, it's AI. No, no one's going to want that. And it's
mhm,
exactly the opposite. People just want to be helped.
mhm.
They
Yeah,
they,
and if you
they
train,
already see hearing AI and all the other places they're in. So if they say I won't touch AI, I'm hanging up the phone. Well, they're not going to get anything done for what they need.
yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, and here's what the AI agent can do. If you train it well,
Yeah.
then that's the whole key. Is if
Hi,
you
I'm
train
Susan
it well,
Rupert's AI assistant. How can I help
yeah.
you?
Well, yeah, and
So
not only that, but
what about transfers?
yeah, you can you can have it.
Live
You
transfers?
again, you're prompting and I was getting into like how to train the
Yeah, go
agent
ahead. Go ahead.
before we got kind of disconnected there. Is that, you know, the key is to train the agent very well
Mhm.
through the prompt. There's three
Mhm.
ways to train it:
Right.
prompt,
Mhm.
knowledge base, and reinforcement learning. Those are the three ways to train the agent. So if you just give it a great prompt
Mhm.
and one that, like I was telling you, like scrapes the data from the website
Mhm.
as just a beginning, and then you give it even further instruction, like you would instruct a new employee.
Mhm.
In the prompt, you would say, hey, these are the 5 questions that you need to get an answer to before you transfer the call. If question number 3, 4, and 5 are answered in positive, and 1 and 2 are answered in the negative, then I want you to transfer the call to me immediately. Boom. And then it'll transfer the call. And we're getting to a place where we're actually able to do a warm transfer, which is one thing that Brian really wants, because he loves to do
Yeah.
referrals. He loves to give referrals to other, as you know, to other attorneys
Mhm.
when they need other attorney work done that he doesn't do, and that he's
Okay.
got a relationship with. So what he and we are working on is keeping our AI agent on the phone while that warm transfer happens, and
Yeah.
then dictating or listening to the call, and then giving a summary back to Brian and the attorney that the person was referred to at the end of the call, kind of like a note taker would do, or kind of
Yeah.
like and then following up. You know,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. The next thing is like the follow up process. So,
Mhm.
you know, once the agent knows what the conversation, that's why we started with conversational AI, because that's where the real
Mhm.
rubber meets the
The
road. That's where
brain,
the
the brain,
magic
yeah.
happens. Yeah, that's where the magic happens. And you know, if we can make it so that the agent can then, based on what it hears in the conversation, then
Mhm.
set a time based on, you know, the action plan that the attorney gave to the person. Okay, 2 days from now, I'm going to call you back. We've got you know, you've got to do this, this, and this, and then the AI agent will call the person and find out if they've done this, this, and this, and will call the attorney and make sure that they're doing their side of things to make sure that everything's
Whoa.
being done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's good.
these are the things that can happen. This is, you know, not right now, but you know what will happen eventually. But you know, obviously she's getting leads, right? I mean, how long has she had her LSA up and live?
Yeah. I
How
guess
long?
about 2 years.
Okay, so
2 years.
okay. Um, and the main thing that you would like to have done is to have these message leads and these calls answered by somebody else
Yeah, I would
besides,
love
you
to
know,
do
like,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
So
She said she didn't want to pay $100 for a person, but because I know, like, for example, she doesn't do rentals, but if someone calls on the phone, that's not in her category she's chosen. But it's like, if people call and they say, I need a rental, and she says, well, I don't do rentals, but there's one down the street for it, they'll count the call. But so I have to teach her to not say, oh, well, we don't do rentals, but you can get some out of it. Don't help with that. That's going to charge you. You'll be charged for that lead that you'll not get business from.
Yeah, and that's part of what we do. Yeah, it's good. I like that. I mean, you're consulting with her on what to say so that she can save money.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Smart. I mean, that's what a good local service ads agency owner would do, because our goal is to ultimately keep that cost per acquisition down to be as low as possible, because we want to keep the expenses down,
right,
profitability up.
Right.
And and so if you can keep those expenses down by making it so that she doesn't pay for as many of those leads, and that's a really good thing. So good job. So yeah, I mean, we can. So here's the other thing. What we can do. Our agents start at. We've got agents that are lower tiered pricing. At Accelerate Marketing, if she wanted to use our done for you agent, I think our pricing right now is $349 or something like $500 a month, somewhere around there, depending on what plan you're on. So you'd have to really look into that if you really want a done for you plan. The DIY setup is different. And we can talk more about what opportunities there are there for for the done the do it yourself if you want to go that route. But I would definitely give her some sort of solution that would make it so that you at least have a backup, at least for messages. Because I think that's where all it takes is for you guys to respond faster than the other businesses one time.
Keep you at the top, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean to make it pay for itself,
Got it, okay.
Yeah. But what other questions do you have?
No, we're just learning more about what you're doing, what's your services, what you're providing. Yeah, those are the good suggestions. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm on here. You're talking and sharing. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, it's have you gotten some good insights in the school community?
Yeah, I just signed up this week.
Okay.
3-4 days ago. Yeah, deliver
That's
a lot of
awesome.
good stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be a little bit more active. Brian's one of the more active guys in there.
How come you're not charging for it?
Because it's a good question. I want to
everybody's doing the 2-tier system. Yeah, what I see in school is like the free level, and oh, by the way, you can get this, and this, and they get into 50, even if it's $50 a month or something like that. Most of mine I don't pay for, but there's a few that I pay for because I get good workflows and connections and resources.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's a good point. I'm thinking about setting up another school community. We had another school community that was a paid community that was I think it was like $1,000 for our pro plan, and that gives you like everything that we our team knows about like setting up a local service ads platform or page and that sort of thing. That's something that we offer through our Go High Level platform. We just went back to just using that because we didn't have as many people in the community as we're looking to have. So we went back to Go High Level for that just this past month. But yeah, I mean, it's a good that's a good alternative to just charge a minimal amount, and then for people that really want to go deep,
have you seen these guys? They're realtors. They're Ben Wiseman. Have you seen these guys going big?
Are they on school?
No, they're on school. Well, they might be because I know they do Go High Level, but only the Google parts. But no, they have a webinar every Thursday, and man, they have so much business they don't know what to do with it, and they're a lower price at $300 to $400 a month. Kind of done. I guess it's done for you. Yeah, they do some articles for them into the Google Business Profile. But man, they got so much business they don't know what to do with it. Okay. I actually turned one of my clients on because I was a little busy, and turn them on to them, and she talked to the owner and says, "Oh my gosh, is it okay if I refer you for some help?" You
Yeah.
know, but it's like
Yeah.
they have more business they can handle. Going big. I
Yeah.
think it's called Going Big.
Okay.
But they're
Well, cool. Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, and I think that's really,
no, but they're
you know,
really
where,
like not low ball. I don't mean it, but I mean really low ticket. But they've got, and I guess probably that's why they got so much business, because a lot of realtors get confused, and that they specifically focus on realtors because they're already realtors. They're up in Maine, they're in North Carolina, and these guys, and they're just telling people, yeah, just bump up your budget 10,000 a month. You don't get enough leads. You won't. Don't worry, Google won't spend it. Well, you know,
yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
getting tons of business and lots of results for people.
On local service ads, you mean,
Yeah,
or in
Google
just,
local
oh,
service ads management for realtors.
wow.
Going big. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I would say, yeah, you know, but yeah, I would definitely turn the budget up. That's one strategy. There's a lot of other nuances to it.
Well, you got to be careful because Google will take whoever budgeted most first. They'll burn your
Mhm.
money first,
Mhm.
right? Google will burn your money first
Yeah.
before you know, whoever's the hired one, they'll burn it first.
Yeah, a lot of times. So, okay, well, cool. We're running out of time here. Brian, do you
Yeah,
have any other questions?
No,
Yeah.
I was going to learn. So I'm just going to say real quick that I'm just going to learn a little more about you guys and seeing how I can either refer you or use your service to help me help more of my clients.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Eric.
Yeah.
You know, I'll see you in the community. You know, please ask any questions that you can. If, post if you can today after the,
Okay.
after the
I will. Yeah.
meeting. If you have any specific questions, about, your client, what we talked about today,
Yeah, sure,
even
sure.
posting,
Shows that I
anything that
learned.
you learned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that'd
what
be
I'm gonna do.
awesome. Yeah, I
Okay.
really appreciate it.
Okay.
And Brian, thank you for jumping on as usual. I appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Brian, thank you. Thanks for the insight,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah. And for anybody else, you can text and if you want, Eric, you can text the 619-304-5155 number. That number is connected to our Go High Level. So,
Okay.
and we just set Brian up this way as well, so that anybody that texts that number,
Mhm.
they immediately get their contact information. If they give it, will be transferred into the Go High Level platform,
Okay.
and you'll be able to see how we take people through the 5 questions and qualify people.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So you can test that out by just and you can opt out anytime you want. And then anybody that wants more information about how to run their LSA or their Google Business Profile or AI, you can go to our school community, skool.com/local lead labs. And that's really it. I appreciate you guys jumping on and let us know what questions you have, and we'll see you on Mondays or our next one. All right.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.